American cheese. All right, you got first pick. You got the first pick, and I think I know who it is.
Yeah, of course it is. We actually had this conversation a little bit on Facebook. So my number one pick in this draft is Owen Shaw. So and here's my reasoning for it. Out of all the characters, he's the only one to really mess up Dom. His team messed up everybody.
Oh yeah.
Like even The Rock lost the Dom. Brian lost the Dom. Everyone loses in a fight to Dom. Owen took him out, and his team took out the whole team.
Yeah, I mean, Giselle died in that battle against them, right?
At the end, yeah.
He built the world's longest runway.
But mostly it's that car.
Oh, that car is bad. That car is awesome.
So I think a lot about that car and how it's basically like taken almost exactly from Robot Wars, that TV show that was on TNT.
Yeah.
And it was
All
just the wedge.
You're implied.
Yeah, and I was like, whoever wrote this just watched Robot Wars and was like, that is going to be our car now.
And I like him a lot. Luke Evans as an actor, I thought he took the role like he wasn't overly serious about it. I respected him as a heavy.
Yeah,
dude was bad, and he also opened up the door for Statham and Scyther and Charlize Theron. He was the first like heavy guy, I would say.
And I like that
he's still kicking around.
He went about like 13% Clint Eastwood, which is a nice throwback, which I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah. You can't go more than 14% Clint Eastwood. He picked the perfect amount.
Right there.
And he went British Clint Eastwood just to like really
You gotta-
give it that international edge.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Megan, you're up. Who's your first pick?
I'm gonna go with Air Marshal Dinkley from Hobbs and Shaw. As Mark said when we were discussing some of the movies recently, he really delivers on everything he says he's gonna do, and he's got some witty comebacks. I mean, he commits for these guys. He has calls in bathrooms and gets planes for them. So,
and he calls them out on the plane.
if you need a guy on your squad who's gonna get shit done,
Dinkley. And I love how they called him out. He's special forces. Yeah, I dig it. I like that those nerdy characters and not the nerdy characters, but like Locke, and then you have Dinkley. They're real capable people. They're just weird, and I love that about them.
I was blown away when I saw that cameo in the theater. I was like, "What? Are you kidding me? Another A-list actor?"
Perfect.
Especially after the Ryan Reynolds moment, we were like,
Exactly.
"Oh, that's one thing."
Yeah.
We did it again. They got me
we
twice.
loved. What is that? What's the movie with?
Central Intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
good.
just
It's really
they like each other so much, and then we saw them on Graham Norton, and they just play so well together that
Jumanji.
it was a good callback. Yeah.
All right. So we got Owen Shaw and Dinkley. Dinkley. Yeah, Dinkley.
Yeah.
What's your pick, Adam?
I'm gonna go with Vince.
Nice.
Because in the midst of every operation, every scheme, every plan, there's always like a weak link in a betrayal. And if you know who that's going to be going in, it removes all the work. And so Vince is not a team player. I know he's going to be the guy that lets us down, but he's got to be on someone's team. So you put him there, and the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
Yeah. And he comes through at the end. He just catches a bullet.
Yeah. No, he gets his comeuppance. I'm just saying, it's good to know where your weakness lies.
Yeah.
Talk about like such a big difference between that character in the first movie and the fourth movie. Like some of his lines in the first movie are cringy today. But when you get to him to the fourth movie, he's like, oh, he's definitely matured and more likable. Because I couldn't stand him in that first movie when I rewatched it last week.
I love the fight with him and Brian.
Him in the first movie, to me, what defines his character is at the party, he's just for some reason playing a very specific guitar. He's playing like a Gibson Zakk Wylde signature Les Paul, which is like a $5,000 guitar.
He stole it.
Which means that like he can't just be like a part-time player. And also, have you ever been to a party where there's some guy kind of playing guitar the whole time, but like not playing a song that you can sing along with? He's just there being irritating. So I hated him for that. But I'm like, he must have band aspirations to have an instrument of that quality. What's that story? I want to know about his failed band.
Who taught him? That'd be a miserable job.
Right?
Young Vince teaching him how to play guitar.
Yeah, it's not like people were learning everything on YouTube back then.
No, you needed to have like a Dewey.
Well, you know it was a nu metal band too.
Oh yeah.
One of the things about Vince that I think is really underappreciated is that in the first movie, he's the one jumping from the car to the moving truck. He is much more capable than people think he is. Because everyone remembers like Dom like doing stuff, but it's Vince who's like the one putting himself on the line. He's the one climbing out of the car, shooting the thing, jumping across it.
Yeah.
Right?
Vince has always wanted to be Dom's favorite. That's his lot in life. I want to be Dom's boy. And that's why he's still threatened by Brian.
Brian comes along. He's like, nah, sorry, Vince, get out of here.
All right, so I'm going to hijack this one with my pick, and I'm going to say the truck driver from Fast and Furious. Not the Fast and the Furious, but the Fast and Furious, the one with the iguana.
I knew it.
Now, this guy, okay, let's not take for granted that he's driving a massive truck through these mountains. He is a very capable truck driver. So he's getting these things through. Also, he doesn't leave his iguana behind. He realizes he's in trouble, and he knows what he has to do, and he executes, and he saves that iguana. I looked online, and that iguana was actually sold for a decent amount of money. It's a prop. There was a movie prop. And so I was going to buy it, but no, it sold. But no, I mean, listen, this guy, he protected his iguana. He's a good truck driver. I respect him. I have a lot of respect for this guy because for some reason they gave him an iguana. Why? But I love little character moments like that, so that's my number one pick.
All right.
Truck driver with the iguana.
We're doing how many? 5?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that scene is so underrated in all of the Fast and Furious because it's the start of a new trilogy. So like the first 3 is about racing, and then the next X are about saving the world, basic superhero movies. And that scene reestablishes everything from the first movie right away. It's like, oh, Dom is more badass than normal. Letty is more badass than normal. They're still stealing trucks. Like everything about that scene, I absolutely love.
Han is there.
Yeah, and I was gonna pick that guy, Mark, too. So I gotta get a new one.
First snipe of the day.
So it's up to you. We can either do a snake draft where we go like, so I pick one now and we work our way down, or we just go all the way through, like you, Megan, Adam, me, you, Megan, Adam. So whatever you want. You pick the correct number, David. So what do you want to do?
I would do a snake draft. I think that's the only appropriate thing.
So it's mine?
Yeah.
I'm taking the truck driver from the Fast and Furious.
Well, let's not call it a snake draft. Let's call it a drift draft.
A drift draft.
Yes.
Yeah.
This truck driver defeated the gang. He took them out. You know, nowadays you have Cypher and all these huge crews, and they're wiping them out with no problem. Hobbs and Shaw, they're falling 200 yards and being totally fine with it. But this truck driver in the first Fast and Furious wiped out the crew, beat the living daylights out of them, and he kept driving. That's like
the whole team's going to be truckers. Are you going to have a convoy team?
I'm planning on it now. I didn't think I'd get these first 2. So I gotta really readjust my strategy here. But I think that this guy is one of the most underrated characters in the franchise because he defeated the gang with no problems. He wasn't freaking out. That truck was driving in a straight line. This guy was shooting shotgun shells, reloading it, and driving a big rig while under attack. Like that's a good driver right there, and he won. So that's my second pick.
Oh my gosh, that's a good pick.
All right, who's your second?
I'm gonna go Han. Han's my second pick, and I just feel like he is maybe the most capable person, but the less arrogant person on the whole franchise. Like Dom knows that he's Dom. Hobbs knows that he's Hobbs. Both Shaws know that they're, but like Han is just kind of understated. But I feel like he can accomplish anything I need him to do. He's a jack of all trades.
This is the coolest character. The way he takes care of Sean in the third one, and the fourth one he's laid back, and the fifth one him and Giselle have that great relationship, and the sixth one he probably has the best fight in the franchise.
He reminds me a lot of Brian. He's very laid back. He's got sort of that California vibe. He's just real chill, rolls with the punches.
Dude's awesome.
Capable.
Yeah. Man, he's even better now. He's back. Baby.
Gosh. You know, I had a really hard time watching Hobbs and Shaw because I'm like, this idiot killed Han, Yeah. And then when I learned that Han was alive, I'm like, okay, I can love Hobbs and Shaw now. Because Shaw must have, I don't know.
I'd love to see the footage of Mark in the theater watching Hobbs and Shaw, but just being like bitter the whole time.
Yeah.
Just like angry.
Yeah,
Megan's like trying to make it easy. Do you want like a milk dud or some popcorn? And she's like, not now, Megan. It's like really angry. Like,
no. It was definitely a battle.
Yeah, it was. I was mad. I'm that much of a Fast nerd. I was mad. I did not like it. But dude's chill. He's always eating. He's like the Rusty of this crew from Ocean's 11. He's the Brad Pitt of this crew. Always eating. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched that. What, Code 8?
Oh yeah, Code 8 on Netflix. Han's in it. Sung Kang is in it.
Looking real skinny.
And also Sung Kang is in Better Luck Tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And they're saying that's his character. So if you watch Better Luck Tomorrow, you'll see Han in that as well.
Like as Han?
That's Justin Lin's first movie, and Han's in it.
Oh, a secret prequel.
Yeah. All right, Megan, who's your second?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with Hattie Shaw.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's my favorite badass good girl. I mean, well, on the protagonist side of these stories, she's just capable, you know? She can build a really awesome gun safe in her house by herself with no help. And she's smart. She's impulsive. She's cool.
There's no drama with her too. You have Hobbs and Shaw. They're 50-year-old men, and at the end they realize, oh, we should work together. And the whole time she's just like, guys, like, I'm gonna die and the world's gonna end.
It was a real Batman versus Superman situation where if you guys had a 30-second conversation, this would be over in half an hour.
And she's just dealing with all that. I love it.
And she has a virus inside her.
Mm-hmm. She's cool. And she's good at Mission Impossible Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Excellent. We talked about this a little bit, Mark, like how there's no other franchise really from the late 2000s that's still kicking around other than Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious.
And she's part of both of them.
Yeah.
Have you
Maybe
guys,
Scream.
Have you guys watched the first Mission Impossible recently?
I love it. It's my favorite.
About a year ago we watched it.
I watched it the other night and I was like, it was a slow burn, that movie.
De Palma, baby.
Yeah,
that's right. It was him.
Well, the shots are a lot different. The whole thing just looks different from the rest of the franchise.
It's very noir. And then the second one goes full John Woo, and you're like, what?
Yeah, it's the whole. Those movies are so like inconsistently different that when I went back to the first one, I was like, oh yeah, this is a whole different thing.
They're still awesome. I love them so much.
It's not bad. I'm just saying it's a slow burn.
I love the first one's my favorite. All right, who's up next?
All right, I'm up for this draft, this drift draft. I'm not shocked by this, but I'm gonna pick Deckard Shaw because I love Jason Statham. I absolutely love that character. And what I'm not surprised by is that the Shaws are going early.
Yeah.
First round picks.
Yeah, absolutely. They are 100% first round picks. I actually struggled between Deckard and Owen. I think Deckard is probably more capable than Owen, but Owen's the only one who's actually got it done.
But you got them both, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's hopefully they can work together, but you don't know.
We don't know much of Owen's backstory, but we do know that Deckard was Special Forces or MI6, and just we know how capable he is. But his comedic timing is just so good.
So good. That baby scene in the eighth one. Oh my god.
What do you call that, Uncle Statham?
Yeah, he becomes a mass murderer in the 7th one. He kills 47 cops, and then in the 8th one, you just think, "Oh, Uncle Statham! Like this is my buddy. Like he's Uncle Stath."
Well, and the banter when they're in the car hangar.
Oh yeah.
Just the back and forth between him and The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah. Or Hobbs. When I saw that at the end of 6, when he made that cameo at the after credits, I lost my mind because I love Statham. I absolutely love how funny he is. But then I had this thought. I was like, Vin Diesel, what are you doing? You're having the spotlight being stolen from you. Not only do you have The Rock, who is extremely charismatic and an actual athlete, you have Statham, who is an Olympic athlete. Like, what are you doing?
But then we realize he's a genius because we got Hobbs and Shaw.
That's true. That's very true.
Vin Diesel, man, he's brought in some big names into this franchise. Mm-hmm. I love it. That's why I hate all these behind-the-scenes fights, because Vin Diesel's the one who brought him in. It's a bummer.
So when I saw Statham